I'm an alumni of PACE, and I've been working in technology for almost 20 years. And as Dr. Hill mentioned, I've been with companies like Sony Electronics and GE and now with Remedy Health Media. And one of the things that is important to me in coming to an event like this is that you remember what I say. Because if I come up here and just give you a few cliches, you'll forget tomorrow. And I just wasted your time and wasted my time. So that's not my goal. My goal is you're at a point now where you're going out into the world after having a great time at PACE. And I thought, what is something that I would want to know when I was in your place that I didn't know? And one of the talks I've given, I've actually spoke at this event last year in Pleasantville. And the title of my talk last year was the 3 things that will bring you success in your career. And I'm giving a different talk tonight, so sorry about that. You'll have to. Actually, I did bring notes, so if you're interested in the notes from last year's talk, you can grab a copy on your way out. But I did want to give you a little bit of that talk, just because I wanted to dig into one of those components in this brief talk tonight. And the 3 aspects really that I shared last time was that it was really 3 C's. Is that you needed to have a capability, you needed to have courage, and you needed to be connected. And the idea was that if you have a skill that people value, and you can do it under pressure, you have the mental toughness to handle it under pressure, and with some of those people here that are in the military, you understand potentially what that means. But we will all be under pressure in our jobs of different types. And then third, if people know that you have that ability to deliver under pressure, those are the 3 things that will lead to success in your career. And what I thought I would talk about a little bit tonight is just the middle one, courage. Because when I thought about it, and I was thinking about this talk for quite a while, that theme kept on coming up for me. And I thought, really, if you have courage, not only will you have a successful career, but you'll actually have a meaningful life. So I'm actually thinking big here with this talk, right? So bear with me. The idea is that really, in order to have courage is developed just like any other capability. You might think that because you have a skill, you have confidence in your abilities, and therefore you're going to have confidence. And that is true to some extent, but ultimately courage is developed separately from your capabilities. And that is something that I wish I knew when I was graduating, that courage was developed separately. And what happens is, with courage being developed separately, is you actually it has to grow. You have to grow in that area, and you have to test yourself. So it means you have to be challenged. But there is something else. Simon Sinek, in his book, Knowing Why, says that in order to develop courage, you have to know why you're doing something. And that reason has to be greater than yourself. So let me give you an example. I don't need these cards. I'm going to put them down. Some of you maybe who have had parents who have immigrated here from far away, or even not, they worked hard with the hope of giving you a brighter future. And that was their driver. It wasn't themselves, but it was you. And now you have gone on and you've graduated and you have a bright future in front of you, but you were their greater why. And now the question that is being confronted to you is, what's your greater why? And it can't be about you. And the things that are the whys that are about you are money, anything material, anything about fame, that all comes back to you. You could say, oh, well, I want to become rich so I can help people. Yeah, why don't you help people? They don't need the money, they need you. And so really, the greater why has to be greater than yourself. But then once you do focus on that, you end up realizing that you can have courage. You can have, because you're not doing it for yourself anymore, and your world expands. There is a talk, a commencement speech, that is making its way around the internet right now, called I think it is, What is Water? I'm not sure, has anybody heard of that talk? It's by a famous American writer by the name of Wallace. Well, it's something that I would definitely recommend you look up. The idea is that two fish are swimming in the sea, and another fish comes up to them and says, "Hey guys, how's the water?" And they swim on, and one turns to the other and says, "What's water?" Because obviously they're swimming in it, and you don't. The problem is, and the essence of his speech is, you go through every day, and you become like the people in the movie The Matrix, where it's just mind-numbing, repetitive work, and you've forgotten why you're doing it. And what ends up happening is you follow the crowd, you become self-centered, and you end up starting to become more and more bitter as you start to focus just on yourself, and your world gets smaller and smaller. And ultimately you end up as being someone who is sad, really just bitter person that has really not lived a very valuable life. But if you think about why you do what you do, and you have a greater cause than yourself, you will you'll know what water is. You'll know why you're doing it. You know why you wake up in the morning, why you're going to work, and you'll have ambitions for other people and to have an impact on other people. So, and actually in doing that, you're developing courage. You're developing the mental toughness because you know that you're sacrificing every minute of your day for somebody else. When my wife and I got married, the pastor talked to us and he said, in our pre-marriage counseling, he says, "I want you to remember one thing as you go to get married, and it's the phrase, 'my life for yours.'" And we said, what does that mean? He said to me, he says, "Well, if you were walking down the street and a car comes rushing towards your wife, Terence, would you push her out of the way, even if it meant you were going to get hit by the car?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. Now, we were newlyweds, right? So, but he said, "That's what I want you to think of every day." He said, when you have a choice of taking out the garbage or watching television, say, 'My life for yours.' I'm going to give up this 10 minutes of my life that I'm not going to get back, that I'd rather be watching television, and I'm going to take out the garbage. I'm going to do what you want to do today, even though I'm going to lose this day of my life, but I'm going to sacrifice it to you, my wife, because I love you." And that really is a little bit of doing that. My life for yours is a little bit of having a greater why than yourself. It's the marriage that is the greater thing. And again, you end up being able to have the courage to run in front of a car, or to not look at a woman who passes by when all your friends do, or whatever it is that takes courage when you're around peers. That takes courage. So I guess my message for you then is to really think about why you're doing what you're doing, and you'll be surprised that you're going to develop courage while you do that, and you're going to have a more valuable life. And actually, one of the phrases I do want to read that I wrote down that I wanted to kind of maybe have you remember or repeat, because I thought it was kind of cool. Just as a parting word is, have courage and be of good cheer. Life is worth living, and life is bigger than you think. Life is worth living. Find out why you are here. So I hope that's helpful to all of you, and I wish you all the best. I'm honored to be here, especially hearing a little bit about you. So thank you for letting me be a part of this.